The NLCS stage is set as neutral fans will hope for 7 games worth of this rivalry between the Colorado Rockies and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Rockies swept the Dodgers in the NLDS last season. LA now looks for revenge in this NLCS, starting here in game number 1. It's Walker Buehler who pitched well in his first postseason outing as he starts well here with a strikeout of Kris Bryant. It's Shohei on the mound for the Rockies, and he had a great first start of his postseason as well, but unfortunately for him, Kris Bryant was as bad early in the field as he was at the plate, and that allows a base runner on third. The pressure got to Ohtani as he walked 3 straight batters en route to the game's first run. Then he settled down, striking out Nick Solak and getting a routine ground out to get out of the bases loaded jam. Bottom 7, Devin Smeltzer couldn't get out of the jam, giving up an RBI single to Nico Goodrum. Top 8, Adley Rutschman comes through with a double, chasing Walker Buehler out of the ball game for Scott Anderson, but the buck stopped right there as he struck out Tim Anderson to prevent Adley Rutschman from scoring. Taylor Rogers came in to close the 9th inning, and he got 2 routine outs before striking out Rafael Devers to secure the 2-0 win in game number 1, and unfortunately, Shohei Ohtani was on the wrong side of this pitcher's duel. NLCS Game 2, Rockies looking to avenge Game 1 shutout loss, and they would need to get to Dustin May early in order to do it, but Juan Soto grounds into a double play instead of creating an early rally. The good news for Colorado? Well, this year's Cy Young winner is on the mound for them in John Means. And Means struck out Freddie Freeman in the first inning, and then after giving up a base hit in the second inning, he got former Rocky CJ Cron to strike out. But another base hit by Edwin Rios was dangerous, and Means bunkered down, and he got Nico Goodrum to fly out to left field, and then he got Yorbeat Vivas to strike out swinging to end the inning. Top 4, Juan Soto hits a perfect blooper that just can't be fielded, and Rafael Devers smokes a double into the right center field gap to score the game's first run. Polar Bear Pete Alonso comes up and smokes one high and deep to center for his 3rd home run of the postseason to open up a 3-0 lead for your Rocks. But in the bottom half, a fly out in foul territory ends up being a sac fly and a run for Los Angeles. But the inning was ended by this ridiculous double play by Jazz Chisholm, tagging the leg of the runner, going to second, and then throwing out the runner going to first. Wow, what a double play. Setup man Jonathan Loaizaga came in for the 8th inning and immediately got Yorbeat Vivas looking at a fastball. Then it was Corbin Carroll swinging and missing, and a routine pop fly to first base ended the 8th inning. Jimmy Nelson came in to keep the game 3-1, and he was able to do so successfully. And that put closer Emmanuel Clase on the mound, and it started rough for him with a deep ball to right over the head of Kris Bryant and off the wall for a double. Then a routine grounder moved the runner over to third base before he struck out catcher Will Smith. And former Rocky CJ Cron was up to smoke a ball to left field all the way to the wall, and it was caught by Kris Bryant to end the ball game and give the Rockies a 3-1 win in Game 2 of the NLCS, tie this series at 1. Looking for offense, Game 3 saw the Rockies move Bryant out of the 2-hole in favor of DH Shohei Ohtani. NLCS Game 3 tied 1-1, pivotal game in the series, and it's Aaron Civale on the mound for Colorado, who had a great first postseason outing, and he was in a slight jam in the first before freezing Will Smith on a high fastball in the zone. Tony Gonsolin was the Dodgers starter, and he isn't having the same success this postseason, and it showed as he walked Juan Soto, and then Rafi Devers comes up to the plate to hit a towering blast to right field on a full count with 2 outs to make it a very early 2-0 Rocky lead. Pete Alonso got himself a 2-out single. It wasn't over as Kris Bryant sent one deep to left field over the wall to extend the lead to 4-0. I guess that lineup change really worked out. In the second, Nico Goodrum continues being the Dodgers' top man in the series with an RBI single right to center field. And in the bottom of the 5th, Juan Soto lifts one out to center, and Jason Dominguez is able to tag up and score at home for a 5-1 Rocky lead. Young pitcher Derek Watson came into the game and showed his inexperience a little bit, beating Yorbeat Vivas. He was able to get out of the jam with the help of Jazz Chisholm's defense. Jeffrey Springs came in for Los Angeles, and Tim Anderson got him right away with a smashing 2-run home run straight away center field for a 7-1 Rockies advantage. Juan Soto then added to it with a 2-out solo shot into the bullpen, and this first game of the series at Coors Field went easy for Colorado as Pete Alonso gapped a double to score the 9th run of the ball game, and Watson was left in the 9th inning to strike out Yorbeat Vivas looking, strike out Corbin Carroll swinging, and strike out the most dangerous Dodger so far, Nico Goodrum, fanning as well to finish off the 9-1 victory and have the Rockies win their 2nd in a row to take a 2-1 NLCS lead. Game 4 kind of saw their lineup return to the old way, but Brendan Rodgers got the start at second base over Jazz Chisholm. Game 4 of the NLCS, and the Rockies hope to continue that momentum from the Game 3 blowout win. German Marquez had a rough postseason outing the first time, and he'd look to get on track against Clayton Kershaw, who was taking the mound for the first time all postseason. Top 3, Marquez walks Yorbeat Vivas, gives up a Corbin Carroll single to left field, and he walks Nico Goodrum to load the bags with nobody out. Not good. A weak fly to right field by Mookie Betts will tag Yorbeat Vivas home, and Corbin Carroll is thrown out at third right after. That brings up Gavin Lux, who hits a dangerous shot to the right field wall that is corralled by Juan Soto. But in the top of the 5th, a single would drop in front of Juan Soto, and it gets legged out into a double. Then after a walk, Corbin Carroll gets a triple to the right field corner off of Marquez to score the 2nd and 3rd runs of the game for LA and chase German Marquez out of the ball game in favor of Devin Smeltzer, who has struggled a little bit this postseason. A relatively deep fly ball to left center field ends up sacrificing another run home, and in the next inning, a deep hit to left center by Nick Solak goes for a ground rule double to have 2 runners in scoring position for Yorbeat Vivas to tear the house down with a 2-run triple to almost the same exact spot. Shohei had a chance for the Rocks, but he strikes out with 2 in scoring position, and Freddie Freeman launches a ball into the bullpen in the bottom half of the inning to extend that Dodger lead again. In the bottom half of the 9th inning, Jimmy Nelson comes in and he strikes out Tim Anderson, gets Chris Bryant to get a shallow fly ball, and despite a nice single to right field by Juan Soto, Pete Alonso just strikes out to end a 7-0 shutout nightmare at home to have the series tied once again at 2 games apiece. This angered the Rockies, and the next game would have a very shifted lineup one more time. In game number 5 of the NLCS, last one at Coors Field, and the Rockies really needed to get a win, the last 2 being on the road. Boone Ramo would get his first start of the postseason. How would he do? He would oppose Chris Bassett, who was also getting his first postseason start. Ramo had some support early on as Shohei Ohtani rocked a 400-foot bomb into the left field stands in the bottom of the 1st. What an early lead. Then in the top of the 2nd, Edwin Rios hit a single to right field. That would be followed by a Nick Solak rope right over the head of Jason Dominguez in center to score Rios and tie the ball game. Then it was Nico Goodrum who hit a home run over the right field bullpen to grab the lead 3-1 for the Dodgers and strike fear into Rockies faithful. Another double afterwards had the Rockies go to the pen for, well, Joe Rock for the first time all postseason, and he did well, striking out Freddie Freeman on a slider away from him. And after that, a Will Smith routine ground out to second base, and an Edwin Rios failed check swing ended his portion of the 3rd inning. But in the top of the 6th inning, Rios got his revenge with a shot to straightaway center field at nearly 450 feet to get that Dodger lead up to 3 runs. Dodgers went to Phil Bickford in the 7th inning, and Rafi Devers took him to the stands for a bomb. His 6th of the postseason as he's been leading the Rockies all October. Now the Rocks needed a rally, and Tim Anderson wanted to get it going, smacking one out to deep right field, and he was able to leg out a triple from it. That would get LA to call to the pen to Jimmy Nelson, but this Chris Bryant single would end up scoring Tim Anderson anyways. Rockies within 1. Next batter, Adley Rutschman, who's in a rush to get the lead for the Rockies with a 2-run shot into the stands. Rockies lead it by 1. Time for Jonathan Loaisiga, and he successfully strikes out Freddie Freeman, strikes out Will Smith, and gets a lazy pop-out by Edwin Rios to do his part in securing a win. Okay, kids, it's time for Clase A. He gets Nick Solak swinging, has a little bit of a hiccup with a walk to Yorbeat Vivas, but he gets Corbin Carroll looking at the fastball. But with 1 out away from a win, he beans Nico Goodrum, and it ends up being Mookie Betts who comes up with a 3-run homer. His 3rd of the playoffs to get the lead for the Dodgers. And Clase A blows his first lead all postseason after being so damn good. It was looking grim as Taylor Rogers has been incredible this postseason as well. Adley Rutschman hits a routine grounder, but Nico Goodrum makes a throwing error, and he's safe at first. After that, Jazz Chisholm takes a walk, and a base hit by Jason Dominguez loads the bases for Shohei Ohtani, who hits one all the way out to right center field, which brings one home and makes it 7-6. Then it's our big acquisition, Daddy Juan Soto, who comes up huge for the fans at Coors Field with a 3-run walk-off blast to right. Bye-bye birdie as the Rockies win it 9-7, and they will hold a 3-2 series lead headed back to Los Angeles. Another tiny lineup change had Adley Rutschman move to the 2-hole. And it's time for NLCS game number 6 in Los Angeles. What a series it's been to this point. We got Walker Buehler, who was looking good again, striking out Juan Soto to end the top half of the first inning. Shohei on the mound again for the Rockies, and he looked good as well, getting both Freddie Freeman to strike out and Will Smith to strike out. William Contreras has a shot in the second to get to Buehler, but he strikes out instead. And in the bottom half, the Dodgers bats wake up with a couple of base hits, and then a big fly ground rule double by Yorbeat Vivas to bring 1 run home. And even though Ohtani struck out Corbin Carroll, he walked Nico Goodrum, and he beamed Mookie Betts to bring home the 2nd Dodger run. But he would get out of the inning with a strikeout and a routine grounder to third base, which was taken care of by Rafi Devers. We move all the way to the top of the 8th, and Buehler was still in the game. He got a strikeout at Chris Bryant, but the throw over to first base on the pass ball's not good from Will Smith. William Contreras strikes out, but you know who doesn't? Jazz Chisholm. You like Jazz? As he launches a home run out to center field to tie the ball game at 2 in such a big spot. That brings in Jeffrey Springs, who hasn't had the best postseason, but he does keep the runs off the board with a flare out to right by Adley Rutschman to end the inning. Jonathan Loaisiga comes in another 8th inning, and what a postseason he's had so far. After giving up a quick leadoff single to center, Edwin Rios grounds into a double play, and Nick Solak grounds out right to Jazz Chisholm to get this game into the 9th. Tied ball game for Daddy Juan Soto to do it to him again. Another huge 9th inning home run by Juan Soto gives the Rockies the lead with a chance to close the NLCS out in 6 games. But it would be up to Emmanuel Clase to shrug off the blown Game 5 save. So far, so good with an easy grounder of Yorbeat Vivas. right to Tim Anderson. He then freezes Corbin Carroll on a low fastball for out number 2, and he gets Nico Goodrum swinging wildly on a slider inside to close the game out and send your Colorado Rockies to the World Series. What an epic NLCS between two rival teams, and for the second straight season, the Rockies, who were forced to grab a wild card after the Dodgers consistently win the NL West, they knock them out of the postseason again. Then, afterwards, we see the ALCS go 7 games, and the Houston Astros take Game 7 at home by a score of 8-6. And that will be the matchup. Game 1 in Houston, Shohei Ohtani versus Luis Garcia. Let me see some predictions in the comments section, people. This team is finally in the World Series. Thank you so much, FG fam, for all your support. Shout out to all of our channel members, TClink24, our only franchise quarterback, and a GOAT, Matthew Hackett, for being our only general manager. What an absolute madman. Check out some more videos here. I love you, FG fam.